What I would love for people to see in my work is a timeless quality. Well thought out, having a beautiful sense of proportion, and bottom line, really what is the most important thing is for people to be able to connect with that particular object. You know, whether they connect to it now, 20 years from now, 100 years from now, and 1,000 years from now. I mean, would be the most one could ask for as an artist. I always had this sincere love and passion for the process of working on center. And I think, it started in clay and then, just made this natural evolution or metamorphosis into glass. You're still working on center, except your axis is moving around the way the pipe moves rather than being a fixed stationary thing like it is on a potter's wheel. That process of working on center is something that I've always found very fascinating.
In the world of glass, Washington State's Pilchuck Glass School is the most comprehensive educational center in the world. Founded in 1971, Benjamin has been involved with the school almost since its inception.
As far as this, this ongoing relationship with Pilchuck, it's an institution that's very dear to me due to Dale Chihuly, a very remarkable man. Dale's idea of starting an institution and having it become such a vital, vibrant center of a particular movement. It's a unique thing, and to be part of that is very special.
Since his first experience at Pilchuck, Benjamin's career has been based on working with others.
It just seems like you have the ability to get more done, whether it be directly in a particular given object or the process of actually just working with other people has always been something that has interested me, and it's something that I've kind of taken the ball and run with. Doing something simple and clean and with strength is something that I hope people see in my work.
The Interior Fold series incorporates the technique of folding the glass onto itself. The ancient Romans used this technique for functional purposes, but Benjamin's use is aesthetic. He has never been one for a lot of decoration. He believes that much can be done with the very simple natural phenomena that occur within the materials.
I think most of the basic qualities of the material of glass are so inherently beautiful. That is just dealing with transparency and how glass absorbs and reflects and refracts light. But there's so much can be played on with those very simple natural phenomena that occur within the material that's what I choose to use in the execution of my works, rather than being super involved with a lot of embellishment, a lot of decoration, rich color. Don't get me wrong, I love color and I love decoration, but I like it from a very simplistic standpoint. That is about as exotic as I get is a simple stripe in most of my objects. That is a simple spiral line. I might play with the fading of an opaque color going from transparent to opaque.
From the start of his career, Benjamin was infatuated with folding glass. Lip folding is working on center, working with the material and collapsing the glass onto itself so that either the fold goes to the inside of the form or to the outside.
So anyway, it's a process, a very, very simple process that continued to intrigue me from, almost from the beginning of my career, even up till today.
Executing a Paula piece is the process of joining two bubbles. One ball acts as the foot, and the other becomes a flange or cylinder. In this series, contrasting colors, usually opaque, draw attention to the different design elements. The vessels are created as pairs using horizontal and vertical shapes. A given amount of glass is gathered on the blowpipe, then shaped in a wooden block. It's chilled at the marvering table and the glass is distributed around the bubble. The glass takes shape as it is rolled on the bench and formed with a piece of wet newspaper as the assistant inflates the bubble to the correct volume. A neck is established and the spiral wrap is applied by an assistant. A lapis blue gob of glass is applied to the moil, the glass that's on the blowpipe. Both pieces are heated. The sphere is inserted into the flange and then squeezed down, making the attachment. The flange is then broken off of the blowpipe. He now works the sphere and the flange. A lip wrap is applied. It's then opened after 5 or 6 reheats. At the final reheat, it's spun open and the final form is shaped with a paddle, setting up the curve of the bowl.
I personally feel it's maybe 1 in 100 that really have that really, really special quality. And then there might even be a culling process from that. It's actually broken away. Yeah. Nope.
Most of the objects that Benjamin makes don't survive. By far, the majority become landfill.
But once in a while, I'll do a project where I might utilize some particular pieces for, I've done a couple projects doing some particular fenestration, that is windows, stained glass, cutting up some of my pieces and incorporating them in a door or a window.
Benjamin Moore and Louis Muller have a truly collaborative relationship. They share a similar design aesthetic and work ethic, and bring to their collaborations the technical expertise in their chosen mediums of glass and metal. As a result, the metal in their installations is an integrated design element, not just a support for the glass. Over the past 15 years, they have designed and installed numerous commercial and residential projects. Most recently, they have experimented with stretching the concepts of traditional lighting fixtures. With some works, the light sources are not even integral to the installation itself. The use of glass roundels in some installations allows for the interaction of a variety of colors and clarity, from transparent to opaque.
I look at things differently depending upon whether it's something that I'm personally just creating on my own whim or instinct, whereas if I'm given a particular charge for a specific commission, it's a whole nother way of looking at an object. Because you're challenged, if you're given a commission, or if you're doing a commission, it's generally that you're challenged to make a particular thing for a particular space and to fit a given number of requirements. Whereas if you're doing something just coming from the gut or something that is of interest to you, the criteria of which you evaluate those two things are very different.
The latest commission, done in collaboration with Louis Muller, was for a home in the Seattle area.
When I first worked with Louis in coming up with a particular idea for this home, I kind of just thought of it in a very kind of singular kind of way. But once the piece was installed and we actually looked at it, I was able to step back and look at it in many different ways and see many different things that I did not actually see in the actual conceptual process of developing that particular piece. When the piece was finished, there was connotations of drips of water hitting a pool and spreading out with the rods that actually supported these round discs that were hanging down. When you're standing directly underneath it, looking up at it, you almost had the feeling of balloons kind of floating above your head. And then when you stood back away from it at another angle from underneath, as well as when it descended, it just created all these different feelings in viewing it, which I had no idea when I was actually working out the design with Louis.
With a timeless quality and a beautiful sense of proportion, Benjamin Moore's glass is clean and strong, pure and simple, the product of a team approach to studio glass.
If there's ever a time to say thanks to all the remarkable people that I've worked with, whether they be people who are at the peak of their careers or established artists, or whether they're emerging artists, young people who are just coming up, I mean, the opportunity to work with different individuals and to share is what it's all about for me. You know, and having had the opportunity to work with, you know, established artists who are remarkable individuals and talented beyond belief, and also bringing along a lot of the younger people like Preston and Dante and all the different individuals that I've worked with over the years has been a remarkable ride.